Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video for modern dating here.
I went on a Hinge date 2 nights ago and he left me at the bar. And maybe I deserved it.
Oh, at least she admits it.
But anyway, now I'm maintaining small talk between the two men. And they're talking to each other too a bit. But I can tell that my date is irritated that I am talking to gray hair. He, in the middle, like I hadn't even finished my beer, let alone like I wanted more food. But I hadn't even finished my beer. And he tells the bartender, I need to cash out. And I'm trying.
Are you really? Do you not understand basic decorum and interactions between people on a date? When it's one-on-one between you and the person you're with, not some random stranger that joined in on you?
While on a date, she complimented another man and then began having a full conversation with him. The guy she was actually on the date with simply removed himself from the situation, and now she regrets it as he walked away without looking back.
I asked the girl to go out for a date. She said, I feel like I should know you a little bit more. Sweet cheeks, isn't that the whole point of a first date? You get to know me. Like, you guys are making it so tough for us. No bullshit. Like, we need to call time out here because I can't compete.
Okay. You're eating peanut butter with apple and then steaks? My man, all right? That actually sounds pretty good to me. Like, that's a lot of protein.
I generally can't compete. I could put 2018 LeBron numbers up and still nowhere near the rim. That sounded a little bit weird. I don't even know where I was going with that. And when you think about it in a girl's perspective, they literally have nothing to lose. You get a free dinner.
Yep.
And then maybe me being a little bit awkward.
Yep.
Bro, this generation is too exhausting. Don't text her anymore. Date older women. We don't play these less than smart games. A date is literally for getting to know someone. This feels like to me that she has multiple options and is stalling to figure out which one she likes most.
True.
This is something we see often in today's dating scene, but anyone experiencing it should understand that she is either not interested or still in love with her ex. The good news is that a confident man wouldn't entertain such a dynamic. We understand how the dating game works, and as soon as we realize the other person is not serious, we're done. We move on to the next option. There's no time to waste on someone who isn't genuinely interested. Everyone knows that a date is an opportunity people use to get to know more about the person they are talking to, so her comment makes it clear that she's not interested.
Yep.
At this point, all he needs to do is move on and check out his next option.
We just gotta pick up these little subtleties a little bit better as men.
If a guy ever asks you on a walking date, tell him the only place we're walking to, Brian, is Claire's Accessories. They got 2 for 1 on friendship bracelets. That'll be right up his street, won't it? Walking date. I've never heard such rubbish in my life. I can walk myself. I don't need you to walk me, Brian. Do you know what I mean? And all these
Really? You're really gonna name drop him in this?
men, they wonder why they're single. Because they're at it.
Women wonder why they're single. You can't even walk.
Asking girls for walks. Walks. Like, I don't need to see trees, right? I see them every day, right? I know it's nature and everything, but I would rather see a little cocktail tree in my cocktail at like a bar. Do you know what I mean? We don't need to walk.
You hear that? Like, they rather go to a bar than go out for a nice walk. They don't like you.
Is it just me, or do you think Brian dodged a bullet?
Yeah.
Am I the
Shout
only
outs
one
to
that loves
Brian.
the idea of a walking date? Literally, we're not dogs that need to be walked.
What the fuck? I'm not walking you on a leash, you idiots.
What's wrong with walking in coffee on the beach? Don't get it.
Walking in the beach is actually pretty nice, especially with an ice cream. Love it.
Pick me girls in the comments like, oh, I actually like this. You are accepting the bare minimum. Is that what you are worth? Instead of saying so much, just be honest and say you're not interested, because we all know the conversation would be very different if he were a Chad. This is what many want you to believe, but the reality is that their standards aren't the same for every guy. That alone is a valuable indicator of where you stand. We've seen it. Some are willing to pay just to take a picture with Chris Brown. Others will bring takeaway and wine to Chad's house
$1,000.
without hesitation. Yet somehow she wants you to believe that going for a walk with you isn't good enough. The truth is that if she has high expectations or demands a lot from you up front, it's often a sign that her interest level is low. And in many cases, it's just not worth the effort. You don't want to be in a relationship where you're constantly expected to overcompensate just to keep someone interested. That's not a healthy dynamic. What you truly need is someone who wants to be with you because they genuinely like you.
This is why we always tell men, date people that like you. Stop trying to date people that you like that don't like you back.
That's when they won't mind going on a simple coffee date or taking a walk in the park. And I can assure you, those are often the most enjoyable and meaningful experiences. Relationships built on mutual interest are the ones most likely to be fulfilling and joyful for both people.
I went on a Hinge date 2 nights ago and he left me at the bar. And maybe I deserved it. But we started off at dinner and I was really, really hungry. And I felt like he under-ordered for the table. I did say you could order whatever you want because I like everything here at this restaurant. And he ordered 3 little things. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And he was like, well, we can get more at the smoke shop around the corner because we were going to this like old dive around the corner after this. That was at least the plan. Okay. And so he wants to sit at the bar. We go sit at the bar and I'm sitting next to another guy and my date is on one side and then me and then another guy. And the guy I sit next to, I'm like getting in next to my chair and I'm saying, oh, hi, like, excuse me. He's like, oh, no problem. So I'm sitting next to him and he has a full head of silver hair. And all I said was, I like your gray hair. And he was like, oh, thank you. He said, I still get cards.
To compliment someone else while you're in the middle of a date, especially to the person next to you, is some diabolical shit.
Despite having gray hair. I said, well, you have a young face, so maybe you're like really young with gray hair. And I could just tell that my date hated that I talked to him. I could tell my date hated that I talked to him.
Would you not be upset if I took you out on a date and then there's a girl that sat next to me and I'm just like, you look gorgeous, girl?
But to me, if like you're sitting at a bar, you're like meant to...
And again, for women to give men compliments, it's even a higher bar of that man must look really good for her to give him the compliment. Because men give compliments all the time to women, but women don't give compliments to men like that.
Talk with all the people around you. That's like one of the things about sitting at a bar with other people. Or he could have chosen for us to sit at a table if he didn't want us to talk to anybody else.
Or you have manners.
Anyway, now I'm maintaining small talk between the 2 men. And they're talking to each other too a bit. But I can tell that my date is irritated that I am talking to gray hair. He... in the middle, like I hadn't even finished my beer, let alone like I wanted more food, but I hadn't even finished my beer. And
so you're a broke, dusty, musty, crusty, and hungry.
He tells the bartender, I need to cash out. And so the bartender brings his bill, he cashes out, and he gets up. And I was like, do you want me to walk you out? And he goes, no. And I was like, okay. And so he leaves. And I was like, well, I'm going to stay here and finish my beer. He's like, sure, fine. I'm trying.
Are you really?
Complimenting another man beside you is disrespectful to your date.
It's crazy.
If I was on a date, I wouldn't compliment some man sitting next to me, unless you're okay with your date complimenting on some girl's hair on his date with you. Never compliment another man when you're on a date. Just saying. He was terrified of your confidence. That's why he left.
Really? No, he just wasn't there to compete against someone else.
Dating is supposed to be learning about the other person. You learned that he was not the right person for you, and you were probably not the right person for him. That's what dates are for. The good thing about this video is that she at least
no accountability whatsoever in those last few comments.
Acknowledges and understands why he left, and even admits that maybe she deserved it. This shows she's aware that giving attention to someone else during a date, especially a first date, is not a good idea. That's the time when you should be focused on the person in front of you and putting your best foot forward. I think she concluded that he was right to walk away, because if the roles were reversed, she also wouldn't have appreciated it. His reaction shows that he's a confident man who understands that what happened wasn't normal. Redirecting your attention to someone else during a date is a clear sign that she's either bored or that her interest has shifted to the new person.
Right.
And if that was the case, then he absolutely made the right move by giving her the space she seemed to want.
For the first 3 dates, a guy should pay for everything. But from the 4th date on, it should literally be 50-50. And I know people are going to come at me, oh, you know, that's ridiculous, like, oh, you're so broke, all of this nonsense. And to be honest, reading the comments in some of my videos recently, I'm starting to lose faith in a portion of girls in British society, because some of them, their expectations are just mental. Like, some of them are like, I shouldn't pay for anything. I want a guy that's going to provide for me. I don't want to do anything. And it's like, I'm surprised. I'm really, really surprised that there's still so many people that think like that, because in my mind, 3 dates, I will treat a girl really, really well. I will pay for stuff for the first few dates. And then from the 4th date on, us going halves on stuff, I don't really understand why that's a bad thing. Because if I pay for every single date and I pay for every single thing, as we get into the relationship, what does that look like? Because to be honest, I'm not the only guy in the UK that wants to be with someone that is driven and wants their own career and wants to have their own goals and their own money and doesn't want to rely on the man. Like, but reading some of the comments, I'm like, in my mind, I thought, oh, maybe 30 years ago, that was a situation where there's lots of stay-at-home mums, you know. But my mum carried on working, my dad carried on working, like, and some of the people I know, their mums carried on working, you know. So even though I know people, I don't know anyone that expects to just be provided for and expects for every single date to be paid for and expects everything to be given to.
Yeah, it's the new generation of Gen X or whatever, Gen Z, whatever the newest generation is. I'm horrible with the generation names.
I just think it's wild. Like, I actually can't work out if some of those comments from all those girls are bantering me or they generally being serious, because I think a big portion of them are being serious. So 3 dates, guy pays for. 4th date onwards, you should be willing to go 50-50.
Men have truly lost their masculinity these days. Just say you are broke. I don't agree. The man should always pay full. 50-50 is for roommates. I've never gone on a first date with a man who doesn't pay. For me, it shows they are respectful. In my eyes, a man who asks to split the bill is one who's been dragged up, not brought up. The main
All the women's comments are exact same thing. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right.
reason many women are developing this mindset is because of social media. The content they consume online is confusing them. There are many videos on the internet around this topic, mentioning what they should or shouldn't accept from their date, but
I mean, women make these videos literally thousands upon thousands every day on this topic.
the reality is that most of those content creators don't actually apply the same principle in their own lives.
Nope.
It doesn't reflect their reality. They're often saying these things just for content, and the ironic part is that the people watching end up believing it, which only makes dating harder for them. What he said in this video is actually very normal and reasonable. He's willing to pay for the initial dates, but if there's a real connection and things move forward, he expects some contribution from the woman he's dating. That's a fair and balanced approach, but of course, not everyone will agree. Sometimes you have to wonder whether some people are still living in a fantasy or dreaming. These days, everyone is working, so there really shouldn't be an expectation that the man always has to pay everything all the time.
Women are just broke, dusty, musty crusties. Yes, even if they make their own money, they're still poor because they still need men. It's not like they want men. No, they need men to pay for them because they don't got the money to do these extravagant things themselves. That's why they probably eat ramen noodles when they're not on dates. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time.